Now we go to Larry Sparano with some analysis. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, I think it's obvious what Trump is doing. I mean, he's setting the
Yeah,
stage for a challenge in the votes in the states that might be troublesome to him. That's obvious. But,
right.
however, Kent, despite all that, I think there's valid reasons to doubt the integrity of these massive mail-in voting situations now. You know, before it used to be absentee ballots pretty much for people who were too sick to come to the polls or out of state, whatever. Now it's like mass mailings. And I think it does open itself up to abuse and election fraud by both sides, by either side.
But I mean, why do you say that? I mean, there hasn't, I mean, in terms of the history of mail-in voting fraud, I mean, it doesn't exist.
Can't, there
But you're
hasn't,
saying it hasn't been at this level?
exactly, there hasn't been any history. It's never been at this level before. I mean, how do you verify hundreds of thousands, millions of votes that are either mailed in physically or emailed in? I mean, both sides could take advantage of this. I
But
mean,
I mean, don't forget, what he's objecting to yesterday and today was they're mailing in, they're sending out applications, not the actual ballots.
right, right. He corrected himself. He was claiming it was the ballots, and then he
Right,
realized his obvious mistake wouldn't
right,
fly.
right.
So then he changed it. But what I'm saying is, even the mail-in ballots, you know, you have to apply, and then then you can mail it in. I mean, to me, it's too open. How do you verify that? In Pennsylvania here, we were sent these in the mail. June 2nd is what it's been moved to, our primary in
Uh-huh.
Pennsylvania. And again, it's you have to apply for an application, and then you're able to vote absentee ballot. But again, you know,
But
I
what's
mean,
wrong with that application, though? How could you fraudulently fill that out,
I mean, you know,
as an example?
who's at the end of the computer? You could do this by computer or even by mail. Who's at the other end? How do you verify that? What I'm saying is, there's reason to doubt to consider the potential for voter fraud here. However, you know, Trump is clearly targeting the states that would be troublesome to him, especially those swing states like Michigan. Now, you know, in Iowa, another valuable state, he doesn't have any problem with. They're
Right,
doing the same
exactly,
thing
yeah.
because he knows that he's going to get the votes from Iowa. So, I mean,
Right,
clearly there's political motivation here. But at the same
yeah,
time, I'm saying, I think it's really open to manipulation. And, you know,
yeah,
also what he's setting the stage for is with all these challenges, you know, he could challenge it at the state level, and perhaps it'll end up in the Supreme Court, which is largely conservative now. Don't forget what happened, Gore versus Bush Jr.,
Bush, yeah, yeah,
hanging chads in Florida, and Bush was not elected to his first term. I consider him being appointed
pointed,
president of the
yeah,
United States by the
yeah,
conservative Supreme Court at the time.
yeah.
So,
But
you
I mean,
know,
I think the vote is going to be so overwhelming in some of these, challenging some of these states that it's, won't be.
in many of the states, a repeat of 2016. But again, Kent,
Yeah,
another repeat issue we may have here, situation we may have, is a repeat of the swing states going for Trump. Don't forget, most of them are anti-lockdown. You know, they're protesting there, they're challenging governors, and a lot of the southern states the same way. So I don't
yeah.
think
But
you,
I, I think once the fall comes and the virus comes back, I mean, these guys are going to be not so much anti-lockdown,
if the
don't you think?
virus if the virus comes back, you know, and I'm not convinced it will. It perhaps, but it could also be much less than the so-called experts are predicting.
Yeah,
And then Trump is going to look really good with that. And don't forget, he's going to be able to blame the Democrats for the lockdown, for keeping the economy down and all that. And, you know, he's an effective persuader. So he may be able to sell that message. It's not his fault. It's the Democrats' fault. And
yeah,
again,
yeah,
it goes down to those key swing
yeah.
states.
We'll see. All right,
Yeah.
all right, sir. Thank you, and we'll talk next week.
All right, Ken.
Okay.